Hello, welcome to Access. I'm Rob, this is Holly.
I'm cold.
And so am I. This is Arvidsjaur.
Well done, you said it.
In Sweden,
Yes.
technically also in Lapland. And we are here to see Project Cars 2.
I am.
Mercedes have kindly taken us out on a lake, a frozen lake, and we've driven cars really fast around them.
Like really fast.
And man, it was amazing.
It's been incredible.
You can see some of the footage of it, hopefully, in the latest episode of Access Granted.
Yeah.
But we then got taken back to have a hands-on with Project Cars 2.
We did indeed.
And we played in the game the very same frozen ice track that we drove in real life.
Yes, we did.
And even more exciting than that, you got to speak to Ben Collins, otherwise known as the original Stig from
The
Top
Stig,
Gear.
like the best Stig.
The Stig, and he played the game for us.
Yes, he did.
On the ice level, and you got to chat to him about that.
Yeah, and here you go. You can have a listen to me and Ben Collins as we drove around the ice track that I decided to spin out on several hundred times today in Sweden because I'm a classic driver.
So we're at the Mercedes ice track in Sweden.
Which we're actually physically at the time of filming.
Exactly, which you've driven, I think, yesterday?
Yeah, and even this morning as well.
Yep. So it's very slippery because it's covered in ice. Actually, on the ice, it's a real challenge because you want to try and have that sensitivity, which you've got with the throttle, because I find that with the finger, you can actually be really sensitive with the gas. And the steering just makes it a little bit harder because you tend to have quite big inputs. So when you're on dry tarmac, I find it's really controllable. I should also point out that this demo track that we've got is, you can see it as well, there's quite a sheen on the ice.
Yeah, Nick did mention this as well.
Yeah.
Nick Hamilton mentioned it. It's quite shiny.
It's very shiny, which means it's basically completely slick ice. So effectively, it's like an unprepared track. So we did track 4 yesterday was quite narrow like this.
Yeah.
But they grade the ice surface. So basically, what we're on really is like a winter road tyre on sheet ice, whereas at the track, you got to experience tyres with studs, so slightly higher grip. On a prepped surface, and we've got that option as well. We didn't know that for the demo because we thought it was more fun to slide around and do donuts, which is what it is. It's quite panic-stricken trying to get around without spinning.
So what was this like then, playing at, like, going out onto the track? Because you actually helped the team get the feedback, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you describe to someone how it feels so that they can then code it to make this track?
Sure. Well, I've been racing for 20 years, and my job really as your racing driver is to communicate what the car is doing to your engineer. So that comes fairly naturally, and you try and use vocabulary that is simple and constructive, that basically informs the person who's got to tune the car to know, so that they know what to do. And again, through not through racing, but actually through my other stuff I get up to, like stunt driving and time as the Stig, working on Top Gear and all that. I spent a lot of time sliding, which
just having fun,
which is very useful. Yeah, and having a lot of fun. So we wanted to build that into the game, make it as realistic as possible. And the great thing with Project Cars 2 is that we've continued to enhance the racing competition side. Wet and dry weather and all that landscape. But we're now onto these loose surfaces like dirt, gravel, ice, and snow, where the car's sliding. It puts an enormous strain on the game's engine because it's working in parameters that are way beyond what you'd normally expect them to have to be able to cover, and it's been a lot of work, and it's just been fantastic to see it. And actually, this sliding has really benefited our racing side too, because because the bit that's crucial. On a racetrack, you can slide the car. You won't be fast, but there are those moments when you can have the car in a sliding state, and you can either slam it through a chicane, or if you make a mistake, basically it will slide. You might lose a bit of time, but you don't spin off the track.
Cool.
Having that compliance, I think, has made the game a lot more accessible, a lot more fun, and for me, it's made it realistic. So it's just like the real thing now.
I guess what you're trying to do here is, for someone like me, who is clearly not a professional racing driver, is you want to still make a track like this fun.
Yes.
Because this is tough. Driving on ice is tough anyway.
Yep.
But if I was to pick up this game now and play, we're going to have problems if I'm not going to walk away thinking, you know what, I'd like to continue playing Project Cars 2.
Honestly, the demo we're doing now is too tough, and we know that. And we already,
it is. Rob had a go.
Exactly. So actually, this is almost like a beta that we had from I think it was about a month ago. We gave it a good kicking and came up with a new tyre that is infinitely more controllable and more like what you experienced on the ice yesterday. You'll probably surprised, I'd imagine, how much grip you had in the trial you had.
Actually, we were. This did come up. I was driving with somebody else from PlayStation Access, and we both said, "Oh, I really did expect to be slipping around, especially in the rear wheel, which wasn't too bad actually."
Well, that's just it. You take those studs out and put some road tyres on, and you'd be sliding all over the place and having a lot less control. So the tyre is everything, and for the Project Cars 2, it's the tyre model. So basically, that's effectively a computer simulation of a real tyre. It's exactly what the tyre companies are using to map and shape and change their compounds before they go to printing them. So it's the two worlds really are crossing over, and these systems now. I mean, the Project Cars engine they're going to start bringing it into Formula One simulators because the feedback is just that much more real.
What a crossover!
It's mega.
I mean, you don't get more simulation than knowing that the Formula One teams want to start using what you're doing.
Yeah, they spend millions, and you can spend £40. So I think whatever this is priced
whatever
at.
the RRP will eventually be when it is announced.
I get a free one, so I don't have to worry.
Yeah,
which is great.
you think after all the work you've put in, you'd at least get a free copy.
Exactly. Fortunately, there weren't those big Armco barriers. We just put those in there, I think, as a kind of a last-ditch measure in case you have to stop very quickly.
Yeah, we sort of discovered that snowbanks are more guidelines than actual racing lines when we were playing this out in the real world.
Yeah, but it's super cool. I mean, the great thing with this is you've got the changing conditions, so now we're going into the night time, which happens quite quickly here. And you noticed yesterday the headlights start to be quite functional.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised by how much more difficult, especially nervous, we got when we were driving in the dark, even though we had done the track 1,000 times.
Well, it's quite natural. The thing is, once you get used to different visual cues and what you're looking for, you can get quite confident at night. And my background is Le Mans 24-hour racing, so you race day and night, rain or shine. But you have to have a completely different way of analysing what's in front of you, because with the daylight you can look much further ahead. At night you kind of have to remember what you've seen in the day and find new references, so you start memorising, in this case, some of the snowbanks. You can see those posts on the right hand side. All these different elements that you can use to basically create a mental map, so you know where you're going even when you can't see where you're going.
This is I love the snow is now picking up as well. Just if it wasn't difficult enough, have some extra snow.
Yeah, just a nice little drift through there.
You're doing very well.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm very impressed.
I've had practice.
This is why we're getting the professionals to get the capture for us, because then the videos will look better at the end of it.
Oh, well, I hope so. Yeah, this isn't too stunt. Well, I don't want it to be too stunty. If I start catching on fire, then we'll know I've got it wrong.
Then we'll all be in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I'm having flashbacks.
Oh, no.
I'm having flashbacks to being out on the track.
I'm going to be stuck in a bank. There you go. So, yeah, there you go.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your time.
We'll just leave it in a ditch, and I'm out. Just pretend I didn't do that. Just edit that out.
It's really cool. We've been standing out here the whole time that video's been running, haven't we? Just standing.
I should have worn gloves.
I know. Let's go back inside where it's warm.
Yes, please.
In the meantime, please do give us a like, because we're suffering for our craft out here.
Cold.
Woe is us.
For our craft. Oh, driving my Mercedes around the lake in Sweden.
Yes. And please do subscribe as well, because we're going to have lots more videos on the channel if they're not all there already on Project Cars 2. It's a really, really exciting game, and we're going to have loads more on it in the future as well. So please do subscribe.